G'day everyone, Simon from Vegepod, and we're very proud to bring you Vegepod Booster. Now we've spent 2 years to get this to market. We've tested a lot of things, and of course it's been specifically formulated for edible gardening and for edible gardening within raised garden beds such as Vegepods. We've tested it all. People have asked us, have you really done it properly? We've done it proper controlled experiments and using a variety of well-known conditioners and fertilizers. All the manures, you name it, cow manure, chicken manure, horse manures, all the sorts of worming you can do, be that the worms themselves, worm tea, worm castings, pelletized worm castings, additives like biochar, diatomaceous earth, mycorrhizal fungi. We've had professional composts in there, added mineral rock dust, standard seaweed, standard emulsified fishes, you name it, we've done it all. And we're very proud to be able to get you something that does absolutely everything you need for edible gardens. Now remember, with edible gardening, it's not just like the turf. We're not fertilizing turf. We are trying to get these beautiful florets from the broccolis, chili peppers. The demands of edibles, the big roots, the fruits, the flowers, takes a little more. And so we've got something that's got decent kick in it, i.e. the decent feeds, but also importantly, it's not just a feeder, it's a conditioner. So the best way I like to describe it is you might have a great big bodybuilder, but while he's asleep and down like this, he's not going to really do much. So the conditioner triggers the soil, triggers the roots, the hormonal reactions, gets it up and ready, opens its mouth, ready to take that feed, and then in goes the feed and your plants will boom such as this. Having said that, again, another thing importantly to consider is on the other end of the pole. We don't want to overcook it, which you can start burning plants if you get too high on the nitrogen, for example. All of these things, you have to get that right balance for our environment and for edible gardening. Now, another thing is, of course, my favorite way is to get water and fertilizers down through into the roots, but you also want to be able to put it on top. So if it does hit the leaves or you are watering carefree, that it's not a problem. And we're proud to say that with Booster, that is indeed the case. Also, we don't like it to stink too much. Now, some people don't really mind a bad stink, but at the end of the day, we have it in social situations, and I think it's good if we don't have it too stinky. It has a little bit of pungency, but it's certainly not over the top. We also want to make sure that it has a short withholding period. In other words, when we do pour it over the leaves, can you eat it fairly soon? Yes, you can eat it, and yes, it can be very soon, generally within a day. Having said that, we always recommend before you eat your vegetables and your edibles, give it a good wash in the kitchen sink before you go. You also want to have a good shelf life. Once you've opened it or even pre-activated, you want it to be able to sit in your shed for quite some time and you don't have to throw it away within a month or two. We know that our stuff will last in the shed in the shade for at least 5 years and indeed probably longer. We also want to make sure that you're not just chewing through this too quickly and wasting all your money. So we put it in a really good strong form so you can dilute it. It's 3 caps per watering can. So it is going to last you a minimum 2 to 3 months, even when you're really pumping it. Lastly, and most importantly, we also want to make sure that it was a sustainably sourced product. We're proud to say that, and that it's also not just full of synthetic fertilizers. Now, sometimes people want to get into the little bit of the horticulturally nerd side of these things and talk about the NPKs of the ferts and the feeds. NPK literally just stands for, like your chemistry, remember at school, nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, which really does give the feed and the kick to the plants. Now, we believe we have the perfect blend for edibles and indeed some of the ornamental flowers that take a bit more, because those demands of those edibles will require just the right mix of that. And we've chopped and changed those percentages, and we think we've got the right ones here. Now, so much so that this is currently not on the consumer market. The closest that's out there is actually used by professional farmers. Now, this is a commercial grade. Why do they use it? Their livelihood depends on it, and that's for a reason, because it really gives it the right kick and it doesn't destroy the plants on either end of the pole. The other thing that we obviously made this for is for our Vegepods and our wicking beds. So Vegepods and the veggie bags, all of those wicking beds and all of those contained pots. And as we know, when you have a contained bed, they do tend to suffer more compaction than an open earth garden because they are within their realms and they're within their bounds. So if you are going to start adding in more volume through, say, a more soil-like additive, then you're actually increasing the volume and potentially worsening that compaction issue if you're not tilling your soil. So a liquid form is great for that. It doesn't increase the volume of your soil, but also remember, not just a contained bed, but being Vegepods and veggie bags, we have our wicking reservoirs underneath. And this is another beauty when using liquid. Once it leaches down through your foot of soil, it's not leaching out and watering your neighbour's garden, but you're reserving it, you're containing it, and it's getting to wick back up. So you're getting great bang for buck. Now, when that's happening, we also have to be aware of whatever is wicking back up is not going to be in a form or in a strength that will start destroying the plants when it's used for the second or third time through the wicking process. Last but not least, we're very proud to say it's all Australian made. Remember, if you want to grow edibles and you want to do it within any contained garden, be that a pot, be that a Vegepod, do it the right way and use Vegepod Booster.